Hey everybody, just a reminder that we have a webinar tonight. It will be our third one. We will start thinking about the third week content, which you can see is connected learning communities, a three-pronged approach. I just want to use this video time as a chance to check in, make sure that everybody's comfortable, and kind of go through some of the things that have been happening this week inside the community, so that you can understand, what's going on in case you haven't quite plugged in to what you should be doing yet. So I'm on the front page, and you can see these are the 20 people, including the coaches, that are involved in our course. What we're doing, if you need to get in touch with me for any reason, here's my information. And what we're doing this last week is we've been working through the week 2 content. So I'm going to click on that and let's see what that means. So these are the kinds of things that we're looking at, we're thinking about. You can watch the intro to the course, last week's webinar here. We've started to think about action research and what it is. And if you go here to the action research page, you'll see that it gives you sort of a little rundown on what we're talking about around action research. And you can see that the sentence stem is the first activity that we're going to be doing. And all I wanted you to do is to take a minute and finish this. Now, a lot of people have really given some depth and some thought to how they finished the sentence stem, and that's okay too. But if you're short on time, I just want you to pick a couple of these, like I would like to know what really makes a reluctant learner learn. Or I wonder why when I introduce a topic to the kids, they sit and stare at me with a blank face and I just can't seem to make the connection. Or I need to learn how to feel more confident in my use of technology for core curriculum instruction. Just something along those lines. You don't have to go into great detail. What we're looking for here is to try to pick a common theme running through teams, or to pick a passionate area that you're interested in so that we can start to think about the action research. All right. You'll also notice that in addition to that, one of the things that we wanted you to do this week was to take a look at the curriculum adventure. Now let me go back and take you to that. I'm on the main page for the course. I'm clicking on the week 2. This is where we've been working this week. You certainly catch up later. You don't have to do it all today. But if you go to the curriculum adventure page, right here, you'll see that the first one is linked for you. And the curriculum adventure is just a way to guide your reflective thought around what we've been discussing that week. And so this week we've been kind of laying out what is 21st century teaching and learning, what does it look like? And so there was a minds-on, hands-on activity, and this was just to kind of get you to react to these prompts and figure out, where am I in this? Am I in disagreement with most of these, or am I in agreement, or where do I find myself? This is the content. Now, it's twofold. One, to get you to see Mentor Mob. Might be a great way for you to organize content for your students in your classroom or your faculty members, but also to offer pieces of curriculum that you could start to think about, learning paths, if you will, that'll take you through this idea of learning and teaching in the 21st century. So I'm going to go over here and show you. This is the first article. It's by John Seely Brown, and if you don't know who he is, he's a rock star. He really does think very deeply around the culture shifts that are needed in education. He's a big proponent for passion-based or interest-based learning, under the context of the standards and everything that are required for you to teach. So you go through and you read the article. All right. The next piece here is another PDF that really has to do with rethinking learning in the digital age. Great article by Mitch Resnick, getting you to look at the net standards, which I think was one of the assignments, the homework assignments. Also Horizon, getting you to think about what is on the cutting edge, what's coming, and the Horizon report does that. It looks at each year. It kind of looks at what are the new upcoming technologies and concepts that are going to be shaping who we are. There's a couple of YouTube videos here for you to look at. So the curriculum adventures are really great in terms of getting you to think about the content, the stuff that we're looking at this week. But as you go down in this curriculum adventure, you'll see that there's some things here that you can do. For instance, the Roadside Cafe says, all right, now that you've done this, Is there something here that stands out for you, that resonates with you? Are there concepts that you're wondering about? And so you can share your ideas around that. You can either start a new discussion, and I'll show you where Sharon's done that. You can join an existing discussion and kind of start saying, well, in the article I read by John Seely Brown or something, or you can create a team group and your team can have discussions there. Now, this is totally optional. The team can have discussions right within the course space too. And you can do any of this as individuals or as a team. Some of you are teams of two, some of you are larger teams, any way that you want to do that. We also wanted you to take a risk and to create something about that tells us about you, the passions of the team, the struggles, the passions of you as an individual if you're going through this as an individual. And we gave you some ideas for ways that you can do that and then post it in the postcards to home. So let me show you what that looks like real quick, because we've got a couple people that have started doing that. Oops, so I'll go in here to our course. All right, so if I come down here to the discussion forum, you're going to see that in addition to the discussions, there were 2 discussions this time, and then there were 2 creative activities, 5-card flicker and 6-word stories. There was also the opportunity to post your own. Now, in one area it said as you create that artifact that's going to tell us about the passions and challenges and struggles of the team, to tag it postcards home so we could find all of them. Sharon is the first one to take a stab at that. I'm going to click on the tag to show you what it does. Anybody who had tagged it, it would show up here. So if you look at Sharon's, what she's done is she's created her vision. She went in, she used an Olympus digital recorder, and she created one here. You could just as easy use other tools, like for instance, one of the ones that I recommended was Audio Boo. Let me show you that. It's a really easy online recorder if you don't have the Olympus digital recorders like Sharon does. So let me show you here, and it's real easy. You can see it's right here. If you want to get started, you can just start by recording. You can see right here it says record or upload. So I'll click on that and then pull it over here. And if I wanted to get started, I just fill out an account, I log in, and boom, it's going to let me start recording immediately. Let me go ahead and just do it with Twitter so I can show you real quick. I'll sign in this way. So, okay, sure, I'll let Inspired Learning get one, and I accept the terms. All right, so got the mic ready. So if I wanted to click right here, and I could just go ahead and start recording, it'll come up in a moment. And it's probably going to say that it can't, well, no, it let me. I'm surprised. I figured the two, because I'm recording this, would fight against each other. I'm going to allow for it to be able to take and record. Okay, and then I can start recording. So I can record just like I'm doing right now, and then when I get done, it would, it's having a hard time because I've got 2 programs going. But anyway, then I can preview my recording, and once I do that, it'll give me a link where I can actually go back. Whoa, that's because I allowed it to use my microphone. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. So what happened was because I'm recording here and then I allowed it to use the same camera to record there. We got a lot of reverb. Sorry about that. Hope you didn't shut me off and say forget that. But anyway, if you notice here, Sharon also uploaded not only the postcard home where she did the recording, but she also did one here that was curriculum adventure, teaching and learning in the 21st century. And what she did is she actually started a discussion where she's responding to John Seely Brown. So what you can do is you can go back, read the same article, read what she's written here, and you can respond to Sharon so that we are co-creating content, so that all of us are smarter than any of us alone. And so by you putting your ideas into the mix, now it might be that you don't have to start your own discussion like Sharon has done. You'll read the John Seely Brown piece and you'll get into a discussion right here. And so that's kind of, I wanted you to get the feel for what's happening and why people are starting their own discussions. All right. But each week you come in and the first thing you want to do is you really want to look at the week and what's going on in that week. So this week was pretty easy, just as a reminder to get ready for the webinar tonight. is that you want to check out the action research activity, check out the curriculum adventure, try your hand at one of these, add a sticky to this page, and then do either one of the discussions. So you don't have to do everything. You can do everything, but you don't have to. And then I wanted you to take a look at the Horizon reports and be ready to discuss them tonight. And so if you can't remember how you get to the webinar link, let me show you that. I'm back in our course page, and if you've forgotten how to get there, you simply hover over eCourses and go to our course. Right here, webinar links and archives, I'm going to click right here. Here it is. Click here to join the webinar. So that's how you get back in tonight. We're meeting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific. So join us. I'm excited. And we've got a lot that we'll be sharing and talking about this evening. We're also going to get to know our coaches a little bit better. Viv is going to be joining us. A lot of the conversation and questions that you've been asked have been by the coaches this week. They've been trying to extend the conversation. And that's another thing you need to be looking for, is that a lot of times when you respond, so let me show you right here in this particular post, when you respond to a prompt, like for instance, here's one, Kari responded, then Lonnie came back and asked a question, and then I asked a question not only of Kari, but of anybody who wanted to respond. So Kari then would come back and hit reply to Lonnie's response and answer that. So here's Danny. Matt's replied to Danny. I've replied to Danny, and so Danny just needs to come in and decide if she's going to reply back to any of us. These threaded discussions aren't you post and then the instructor reads everything. These threaded discussions are really about you having a conversation, a very deep, meaningful, slow thinking kind of conversation around the course concepts. All right, I will see you tonight. I hope this has helped clarify a few things for you, and I'm excited to keep the learning going. Bye, everyone.